Hello and welcome to the New Plough Lane, where AFC Wimbledon are today taking on Chesterfield. In a stunning turn of events, by the way. It's raining in England, but nonetheless, people have come out in force at the New Plough Lane to support your FA Cup finalists. AFC Wimbledon also 6 points clear at the top of League One. Chesterfield, meanwhile, struggling down there in 18th place. So we're living the dream. By the way, Meredith, I think if I'm not mistaken, maybe the franchise from Milton Keynes is currently playing in the championship, and that's why we haven't played them yet. But did you know that in real life, the franchise from Milton Keynes was demoted? They were relegated from the championship to League One. So if AFC Wimbledon were to be promoted, they would play Milton Keynes twice next year, which a lot of people think that would be cool and exciting because it would mean that the franchise and that AFC Wimbledon had gotten all the way up to where the franchise sort of was able to kind of steal their place. But most of the AFC Wimbledon fans I've talked to don't feel that way because of hospitality. They'd have to they'd have to welcome essentially the people who took their club away into their ground and feed them and stuff. Although, if I were an executive from the franchise currently playing in Milton Keynes, I would not eat the food that AFC Wimbledon's volunteers served me. All right, today's topic is a really interesting one, to me anyway. Someone suggested that I talk about the ever-growing distance between content creators and viewers on YouTube. When I started out making YouTube videos, there really wasn't much of a gap between creators and viewers because most... way to dribble the ball out of bounds there, Jago. Lego my Jago, buddy. There wasn't much of most content creators were also viewers and vice versa. Like most people who watched videos also made videos. Maybe not most, but many also made videos. They made response videos. They made fan videos, all kinds of things. In fact, in a lot of ways, the stuff that was made in response to the popular YouTube videos of the day were the most interesting things. I remember, for instance, in the days of Lonely Girl 15 back in 2006, it was the fan videos made about Lonely Girl 15 that were most interesting to me. I mean, the Lonely Girl 15 videos were fascinating, but then you'd have these videos of people breaking down what happened in the episode and how you could tell that it was a production and what the plot points were that you maybe missed out on. And then people would make like hilariously funny videos about the different characters that remember there was one set to the tune of Modern Major General that I just watched over and over again. That has changed to an extent. And also, back in 2007, a lot of people who were making video responses to Vlogbrothers videos became, YouTubers with broad audiences, including people who are now, household names within YouTube, like from Ray William Johnson to Tyler Oakley. And I loved watching those video responses, and I do miss video responses, although I don't think so. For those of you who don't know, there used to be this feature of YouTube where you could make your video a response to someone else's video, and that did allow for a kind of conversation that's very difficult to have these days. Oh, Lyle Taylor, not quite fast enough, but I like the way he's getting speedy. I've been working with him in training on his speed. So I don't think some people blame the end of video responses for the growing distance between content creator and viewer. I don't think it's as simple as that. I also think that there are still lots of really great communities in online video, lots of strong ones where cool fan responses are being made, but also where communities are doing fun and interesting and cool things together. I think Rhett and Link's fan community is like that. I think there are a lot of smaller channels with fan communities like that. When I watch one of Rosianna's videos, for instance, youtube.com/Rosianna, I always feel like her viewers are, really engaged and thoughtful and responsive. Like the percentage of her viewers who are deeply engaged in her content is much, much higher than it is for most people who get, 1 million or 5 million views a video. I feel the same way about the art assignment. But there's no getting around the fact that that the relationship feels different to most people who were around in 2008 or 2007 or 2006, and I don't think that's only nostalgia. I think nostalgia is always part of it, but I don't think it's only nostalgia. I think some of it is that it's harder to be a content creator with an audience now. It's harder to find an audience. The production, the skills are different. When I started on YouTube, I bought my first video camera on December 24th and uploaded my first video on January 2nd. I, used only free editing software. The videos were terrible. But all the other videos on YouTube were also terrible. So it wasn't such a big problem. It's gotta be. Oh, Tommy! T.S. Eliot with the premature ejaculation and just can't get his head to the end of that ball. That's disappointing. But I think some of it is that production values have changed, which has made YouTube in a lot of ways kind of like more fun to watch. But it also makes it feel like content creators are different from you as a viewer. Like what they're doing is different from what you're doing. What they're doing involves skills that you don't have, or involves equipment that you don't have. So I think maybe that's part of it. But then I also, the other thing that I think has happened is that a lot of times as things get bigger, they become paradoxically less powerful in the lives of the people who use them or love them. Sometimes really, really big communities can also be really powerful communities that are extremely important to the people who are a part of them. Like I think of the One Direction fan community or the Harry Potter fandom. But in the case of the Harry Potter fandom, it was a relatively small percentage of Harry Potter readers who were, for instance, going to conferences and singing wizard rock and writing fan fiction or reading fan fiction. So I think that as something gets bigger, there is distance created just by the size of the thing. And then you've got to try to find, or at least I want to try to find ways around that. Speaking of ways around that, this is a great opportunity. Oh, and it's beautifully finished by Lyle Taylor. The Montserratian Messi, the Caribbean Cristiano, the St. Lucian Pele. I'm still not quite there. Still don't quite have it. Who's here? Oh, it's Alice. Hey, Alice, hi. Hi, how are you? Did you have fun at gymnastics? Yeah. What is Daddy doing?
Play soccer.
Playing soccer. Do you want to come? Can I keep talking into the microphone? Okay. Are you having a good day? Great. Alice is here. Everything is great. The day just got so much better. So I think that's part of it. I think and I also think that there was something else I wanted to say before Alice was so freaking cute and distracted me with her incredible, unbelievable, unprecedented cuteness. Oh, get there. The other thing is that I think there's something inherently I think that part of what restructured it was people doing it for a living. Like when something becomes your job, it becomes different. And in a lot of ways, in most ways, I think that's been very good. There was a lot of value created by early YouTubers that never got but they weren't able to do it for a living. There's a lot of early YouTubers who still aren't able to do it for a living, just because the numbers were so different then than what they are now. And I think I'm not one of these people who thinks that like money ruins everything. I think that money has, on the whole, been good for online video, and I'm very grateful that I've been able to do this as part of my job for a long time. And without that, I don't know what, things would have been a lot harder for us, and I don't really know what we would have done. But especially in the early years before like The Fault in Our Stars and everything. But it does change things. It does mean that, like, oh God, it means that, like, your life is less inherently sort of less relatable, right? Like, like it used to be that, I think some of it is that there's a distance created by the fact that my job is you watching my videos. I think that there is that changes the relationship. It makes it structured in a way that feels somehow, at least to me, somewhat less intimate. And so I think that may be part of what is going on as well. But the truth is, I don't have a great understanding of why the sense of community is so different on YouTube today from what it was a few years ago. And if I did have a great understanding of it, I would be trying to fix it. Like, I think that this thing that we're all doing together, this world of online video, is most interesting and important when it is a community driven enterprise, and when that community is close knit, and when it feels important to the people who identify as part of it, and that's, I think, when it can be most productive. That's when you can do the coolest things, whether it's from the Project for Awesome to sponsoring AFC Wimbledon. And I want online video to be focused on that, because that, to me, is what's interesting about it. There are lots of ways to make stuff that people watch and to turn people watching stuff into money. But that is not what made online video interesting and important in the lives of the people to whom it is interesting and important. And so I want to figure out how we can best do that in an ongoing, hopefully sustainable kind of way. Because I think that's the great risk, is that as something gets bigger, like I said earlier, it becomes less powerful, and you don't want to end up like TV. The vast majority of TV shows, even ones that are very, very popular, are not deeply important to people. There are lots and lots of people who watch NCIS. There are very few people with NCIS tattoos. I don't want to be in the business of making stuff for the most people. I want to be in the business of making stuff that people really care about. So I'm interested to read your comments and thoughts on that. Thank you for watching. Congratulations to the Wimbly Womblys on a, unglorious, but still totally acceptable 1-0 victory. Thank you for watching again. And as we say in my hometown, well, I guess in this case, actually, we're saying best wishes.